I want to talk about Trump, and I've just been watching and posting clips. So if you go to my shorts and stuff, you can see all kind of the stuff I'm watching and clipping the stuff that I think is important or funny that people can kind of get an education on Trump. Here's my 2 cents on Trump. Number one is he's not going to win, and polls mean nothing. And here's the evidence for that. Look at what Hillary Clinton had in the polls. She had 10-point, 15-point lead in polls, a massive lead in polls, and it didn't matter. So discount polls and use common sense. And here's the common sense. Number one is this. By the election, Trump is going to be most likely a convicted felon. If not a convicted felon, he is already a convicted rapist in civil court, and he was found guilty of rape by a jury of his peers and had to pay $89 million in damages for defaming and lying that he didn't do it. He was found guilty. Women aren't going to support a rapist. I won't support a rapist. And anyone who is going to put their support behind a person who has admitted that they grab women by their genitalia, and here is the result of grabbing a woman and saying you didn't, when ultimately he was found that he did, is $89 million. And you notice he doesn't talk about it anymore. So there is a number, and that number is $80 million to stop Trump from talking about it. Number two is this whole abortion thing. You know, I love the people who are basically anti-abortion, right? They don't account for a woman's ability to pay for prenatal care, right, which is substantial, to ultimately deliver the baby, which is substantial, who then ultimately needs to raise the child. So they're anti-abortion, but they put nothing in place for woman's need for it. So I think it's, I don't know what the cost of abortion, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot cheaper than having to go through that. And if you don't have the ability to raise a child, you are causing more harm. And the whole movement that brought about Roe versus Wade is reigniting, and women and their mates, the men in their lives, are going to vote, right, the way their women vote. So Trump has taken credit for the whole anti-abortion, or the whole abortion movement, right, and taking credit for the defeat of Roe versus Wade, which the majority of Americans don't agree in. So he has that standing against him. In the polls for Nikki Haley, 7 out of 10 Republicans said they would not vote if Trump is convicted. And most likely, with 91 charges, he's going to get convicted. It's just common sense. He's lost every other case, right? He's losing. All he does is lose. And, so independents who he needs are not going to vote for Trump. They just won't. I don't like Biden, I'll be honest with you, but he's done more for the country than Trump ever did. He's actually been a rather good president. He got us out of recession that came out of Trump. He's lowered the unemployment. He has created, there's never been as amount of jobs and everything else in development. He's offered the most comprehensive border reform policy in the history, of the border controls, which were rejected because of Trump telling people to reject because he wants to run on it. All of this is going to become front and center. And Republicans are just the party of lies. They call liberals enemy and everything else, but the liberals want the same thing conservatives want, right? They want to live their life. They don't want anyone telling them what to do. And they're more accepting of others without any fanaticism, with any religious, distorted reality. The fact that they're putting religion back into schools, this is not what the founding fathers wanted, not what the Constitution had, a separation of state and church, imposing their religious beliefs over others, and ultimately having no solution for climate change, for really anything. So Trump is going to lose the 2024 elections, just like his party lost the 2022 elections and the 2020 elections and the 2018 elections. He has been losing. And the only thing that his party has is a cult movement called MAGA. And they can't even legislate. They can't even work together. And once all of the other Republicans leave the party, it's going to be infighting with these MAGA people, and they're just going to tear each other apart. Mark my word, that's what's going to happen. And then finally, the country is going to get sick of them, and they're going to go. That's my hope and my belief. So there's my 2 cents on Trump and where we're going. Trump can't win. It's not possible. Even if there was other individuals running. I'm disappointed in Biden. He said he was going to be a one-term president. I wish he would just go, you know what? I'm too old, Newsom. I'm putting Newsom in. I don't think Newsom get on. Well, I guess he could get on the ballots, right, in the different states. But Newsom, in my opinion, should be running as president. He's an amazing guy, and he is so sharp and can take on anyone on Fox News, on anything. He's like, yeah, put me in front of you, because he knows the facts. He knows the truth, and he eviscerates, individuals who don't. People like Hannity, like Tucker Carlson, like anyone on Fox News. He eviscerates them like a ninja, right? He just destroys them. Let's go, Brandon.